food, the food they have to eat, and so I think most of it have to be cooked here,
yeah,
prepared here in the first place. So, but what are some of the things that you are asking them not to eat during the course of the treatment?
anything that contains caffeine or alcohol is avoided here during the course of the treatment. And the food being given to them here is tailored in such a way that none of those substances are included.
Dr. Tamsin Bodia in an interview with GATWORKS' Abdoulie. Meanwhile, all former and current patients of the Presidential Alternative Treatment Program are being urged to help harvest the produce at the President's farms. A media release issued by the Director General of the program reveals that food, drinks and other logistics for the exercise slated for Saturday 29 October will be provided. All participants should meet at Kanilai Alternative Medical Treatment Clinic on Saturday, 29 October, before 10 a.m. The dispatch ends. Officials of the utilities regulator, PURA, recently had their date with lawmakers, scrutinizing the audited accounts, financial statements, and activity reports of public enterprises and institutions. The day was also shared by the Gambian Agency for the Management of Public Works, GAMWORKS. Samuel Ba was following proceedings, and he now reports.
Giant public enterprises present their annual reports and financial statements before lawmakers. First to come were officials of the GAMWORKS led by their managing and finance directors. The managing director of the agency, Ebrima, Cham, spoke on a wide range of issues from a preview of the company's general operations, human resource and capacity building, partnership with other stakeholders, projects undertaken, challenges and future plans. He was later joined by his financial director, Sarjo, who also painted a picture of the company's financial status.
The performance of GAMWORKS in general over the year, past 12 months, the performance was still exceptional as we delivered a number of completed projects successfully and contracts.
Overall, 2010 has been a better year compared to 2009. Total revenue was 22 million compared to 17 million in 2009, and the bulk of that came from management fees charged by the agency on the projects that we implement.
In an interactive session which centered on pertinent issues, lawmakers took turns to raise their concerns on the report submitted by officials of GAMWORKS. This, however, did not come without words of commendation for what some of them described as an exceptional performance by the enterprise.
Page 8 of the accounts, which is the income and expenditure statement, we've seen a figure of 11.9 million in terms of salaries and wages for that particular year. Along the way, when you go to the notes, there's no explanation on what part of that amount is salary and what part is wages, and what part is the Director General salary, so that we will be able to make some variances, some analysis of if there is any increment from the previous years. I think that's important.
The issue of the debtors. You, as an external auditor, should be very concerned of these outstanding debtors. The management has done their part, including it in their financial statements, but you should have highlighted those things as key factors that would warrant this park peg to give it more consideration.
We are concerned as a committee, we are concerned over audit queries of the previous years, which management or board don't take care of during the next audit listing. We have observed that you have done very well in terms of internal control measures.
Honorable Alaji Silla of Banjul questioned GAMWORKS' collaboration with GAMJobs on the issue of waste collection in the greater Banjul areas. Subject area specialist Augustus Prom asked whether furniture construction, as mentioned in the Director General's report, is within the mandate of GAMWORKS. It was then time for officials of the Gambia Agency for the Management of Public Works to respond.
On sundry debtors, actually the sundry debtors figure represent accrued management fees, mainly Health and Ministry of Defense, and the Ministry of Defense was owed us at 31st December 2010, but is paid during the course of 2011. This, for accounting purpose, we accrue it at the end of the year, but it's no longer outstanding. What is outstanding is the amount for the Ministry of Health. As we speak now, before coming here, I called the Director of Treasury. I spoke to one of his staff, and they informed me that they are currently processing payment for half of the amount owed.
Of course, you know that in Banjul, the water table is quite high in Banjul, and also the drainage system doesn't work. It doesn't work very well actually in Banjul currently. In fact, as you know, there's a project. The government is actually looking into a project which is under the National Road Authority and the Ministry of Works to improve the drainage system.
This was how things turned out between the lawmakers, supported by the expertise of the subject matter specialists and officials of GAMWORKS. The straight talks there were premised on the fact that funds collected from the taxpayers whose interests are being represented by the parliament should be managed to their benefits. Their report was subsequently adopted by the Assembly. Samuel Ba, GRTS.
And still on the process taking place at the Legislative Chamber, the Assets Management and Recovery Corporation has sailed through that process. We have more in this report by Mohammed Jamal Sise.
Management and Recovery Corporation operates within a mandatory framework of managing the assets and liabilities of the defunct Gambia Commercial Development Bank before expanding to include other areas.
These include portfolio of assets from the various commissions of inquiries established by the July 22nd revolution.
How the corporation handled its affairs within 2010 came to light on Thursday before the Assembly's PAC members. These deputies have a mandatory role of scrutinizing in detail every activities and financial transactions of all public institutions in order to hold them accountable to the public. After hearing its 2010 activity report and financial statement, the ensuing debate revolved around few main issues. $10 million given to Invest Gambia at the World Trade Center since 2 years back for purchase of rice, some deputies upholding the opinion that AMRC oversteps its operational mandate as well as an efficient debt recovery system.
Why should Invest Gambia keep the people of the Gambia's money with them for 2 years with no penalty?
This honorable assembly or this honorable body made a recommendation that let AMRC revisit their act, try to make amendments before they further continue into business.
Your mandate was precisely to recover debt and manage it. And now you are ending up giving more debt for which you are finding yourself difficult to recover.
Their core function is to manage the funds of a former default Commercial and Development Bank fund, to recover those money and keep them to as they have been authorized.
Some deputies, however, agreed on the need to amend the AMRC Act to expand their operation to include such areas as providing housing estate to low-income earners, an area they say is moving fast beyond the means of ordinary Gambians.
I think this has been even an outcry in Parliament for AMRC to come on board to salvage Gambians from several skyrocketing market prices of basic commodities that are on demand.
For such activity to be undertaken by the corporation, it needs a holistic transformation and a new mandate. Another issue, problem of debt collection, with still a long list of debtors. A more effective debt collection system with support from the lawmakers was recommended.
We would want, as a matter of urgency, an updated list of your debtors so that we can see as a joint committee how to come in and see how best we can together recover these loans.
You've been trying over the years, for the past decade, to try to retrieve these loans. and they have this, you still have these problems. Your loan recovery level now is minimal.